Yo, what is up? So in this video, I'll be taking a look at Crysis Remastered, and this is at 4K. So I'm going to be on my 4K monitor using the 9070 XT and comparing performance up against the 7900 XTX. So it's quite a demanding game actually. So the XTX isn't able to use upscaling on it. Get that shit out of the way. So, and that setting there, so it will enable that, and that is very demanding. And even on the 4090 I found I might as well just turn that off because it's not boosting ray tracing performance. It's making it a lot worse, as you'll see. So that's all maxed out. Native 4K, it's getting that. I've already seen this and it's getting like between 50, 65 majority of the time. It will go to 70 FPS like in very rare cases. But it's doing really well, to be honest, all maxed out, the XTX. So I thought it'd be a good video just to have a comparison, because they have been locked out of upscaling on this game, so you have to mod it in using OptiScaler. So it'd just be interesting to see how well the 9070 XT does against the flagship of the 7000 series generation. So this is a native 4K TAA, and it just seems to be you're not getting a solid 60 FPS. So you're getting like, you see it goes up there. So it's like a 70 there, and I'd say probably like you're looking at 50, between 50 and 65 FPS. It goes to 75 there. GPU load is 100% before that. As you can see there, that RT boost. Let me just have another look. This is pretty much maxed out in load. You do get areas in here where you get CPU limitations. So as soon as you put that setting on there, it actually tanks, and that's probably what's going to happen at native on the 9070 XT really. You know, ray tracing is better, but it wouldn't surprise me if the same sort of thing happens, because I did find I was losing a lot just by turning that on. I don't know what the point of that setting is, to be honest, on this game. It looks like it's broken, because even on Nvidia, the 4090, it was making me lose about 30 FPS or something. So I thought, what's going on there? But Nvidia are stronger at ray tracing. So the 9000 series will be better at ray tracing, but even this game was very demanding with that silly setting on. So we've seen enough, so I'm going to load it up on my 4K monitor. I'll put that on. I've got these metrics on. I might even put AMD's fluid motion frames on 3.1, because I will be losing more FPS. But again, you do sometimes I just think in shooters,
Achieved with CryEngine.
especially in shooters, I just feel like I won't use frame generation. It's one of them features where, depending on that, I mean, if you're only losing 1 to 3 FPS, but you lossless scaleless, as I said in my other video, you're losing like 10 FPS in a lot of games I'm seeing. So I don't see the point using that a lot of the time. Once I found that out, Because I've tried it enough now, and I'm just thinking it's turned me off using it a lot. It seems to, I mean, some games it don't seem to do that as much, but I don't know. It just feels a bit pointless. So these are the set. I mean, we'd turn that off. So let's give it a fair test. So all them settings were what the XTX had on in that video. This setting here was a bit. If you go full screen, it wasn't going to be 4K. So that was a bit annoying. So that is pretty much it. And I'll turn this off as well. That's what it starts off on. But off scaling is off, so there's nothing unfair about the test. That always does this. It goes quiet like it's going to crash, but then it loads in. Right, so...
Nomad, do you read me? That air support I promised you is on hold so we can secure a safe landing zone. We've identified a...
That feels a bit bloody bad still. But this is one of them games that I've never seen anything like it. You turn the sound down, it still seems to be very bloody loud. Right, well anyway, that is a lot better than I thought it would be. So that is very comparable by the looks of it to the XTX. Again, this is native 4K. Source of VRAM 11GB, almost 12GB VRAM. Because what this does on the AMD's on the right. You got it on the top left anyway, but that shows you the total allocation. So it's using 8GB and it's allocated just under 12GB, which ain't too bad. So I'm surprised at this, that it's actually I was expecting it to be worse than that. I suppose it is you do get the extra edge in ray tracing performance. As you can see, exactly the same settings if you put that boost on. So I'll do that because the XCX went to about 20 FPS. So I'm pretty much, yeah, that setting, I don't know what the fuck that setting is doing. It's got to be some sort of NVIDIA setting that only, well, so fuck, it's so laggy, you almost quit the game. Right, yeah, that setting is just, I don't know what. I mean, once I saw what it was doing to the 97 XT, that setting, I looked on my 4090 and I saw I was losing a lot more FPS on that as well. So I thought, and I haven't seen a difference in what it's doing. It says RT boost experimental, well, it's obviously completely fucking broken. It's like they put it in and just thought, oh, don't work, so won't bother taking that. So I'm quite impressed with that, because this is a bloody heavy game, this. Because I haven't actually tried it at 4K on the 97 XT, because I was thinking maybe it will be, but then I did put FSR4 into the game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to enable upscaling first. Alright, so that will lower the VRAM usage. It should do. Yeah, got under 8. Not, not gone down that much, but it has. Oh yeah, it has. So it's 10 gigabytes of allocation. Alright, so that's what usually happens when you upscale. You use less video memory because it's reduced. And this menu really annoys me in this game. This upscaler menu. Why does it put that on? I didn't. So it does change settings sometimes by the looks of it. It's like it bugs out. Alright. Right, so that's definitely on. Once I set, I'll try and avoid going in that again. On here.
Secure a safe landing
Alright.
zone. We've identified a suitable area near the
That's giving me
refinery.
72
I'm transmitting the
FPS.
coordinates now.
Is that?
Secure the LZ and we'll send in support.
Right. Yeah, because I've literally, so I had it on performance. Because that RT boost setting was giving me such low FPS, I thought I couldn't run it.
There's still no word from OPCOM on General Kyung's exact location. I'm sending you the coordinates of an
That's
admin
pretty good.
office inside the
So what I want to do is I want to try out fluid motion frames. And it's probably going to go off here once I nail it. That AMD metrics at the top right, that will disappear, which I've found to be the case.
Infiltrate and check for intel.
Well, I'm going to enable it anyway, so I'll have to tell you what I'm getting. Just throwing a bloody grenade. Which is typical, isn't it? So it's not. I'll have to come out. Why is it not enabling it on the? So this game seems to block out the bloody menu. So I'll have to do it like this by the looks of it. It's blocking the command I usually use to enable AMD fluid motion frames. Hacking thing. Alright. Alright, so that is on. So it's probably disappeared for your top right. So I'm now getting 133 frames in total, but again that is a lot of that is fake frames, but it's supposed to smooth out the motion when you got it on. Alright. Oh, now it's working for some reason. It keeps throwing a grenade because I'm having to use this bloody button to do it. Alright, so it did knock my FPS down a bit by the looks of it. So we're on 72. Do that so I can kill myself. 72. Right, so, well, maybe it can be more than 3 FPS, depending on the game. But I'm still seeing more of a drop in FPS on lossless scaling when I'm using that. Oh, it's gone up now. So maybe it's a case of maybe 5 FPS it can drop down. Series quality like. There's ghosting on the thing. Alright, so on this game it doesn't seem to look as great, to be honest, and the motion is going a bit. So I don't know if I'm that big on this technology. There just seems to be more issues. I mean, you get less of a performance hit than the fluid motion frames, but there seems to be bloody ghosting on here. It's going to be very dependent on the game, what you plan, if it's actually going to look alright. Well, look, this is a much older game, but that doesn't look great at all on here. So I wouldn't use that on here. It's put my frame rate down more than other games. Right, so that has gone off. Turn that off, and now I'm not getting that ghosting. Yeah, so for me, I just wouldn't even bother with that. So we can have a look at lossless scaling instead. Right, gotta wait. So that's not my FPS down even more. That's what I'm saying about this. I wouldn't take no notice of that AMD one again. So let's put it down to 56. I just don't see the fucking point of using it. I will say the image quality is a lot better with this lossless scaling here. I think that's what I've found. I found that image quality can be a bit better in terms of the aiming. Wait a minute, I did actually. So the image quality looks all right. Looks pretty much the same, to be fair, but then you'd lose more FPS. So I'm going to turn that lossless scaling off now. And I did actually, because this is sometimes what I forget because I'm not used to always using this technology. It wasn't on the quality mode, because you can't set it to remember it by the looks of it, I don't think. Yeah, so it's gone on auto, so I don't know if that was giving me worse image quality there, because if it's on performance, that will give you worse image quality above 1440p to 4K. Alright. Auto will automatically select the idle. Right. Well, it was on auto. High is recommended for gaming at resolutions 1440p or greater. Yeah, so I'll put it on high. Right. Well, I'm still getting ghosting. So I've got it on this. I'm getting 131, 136 frames. My frame rate has gone up. Well, it looks better now because I think it might have put it on the last setting, so that auto might have put on performance. But I am getting ghosting on the aiming thing, but I'm getting more FPS. So at least it don't look terrible now, because it's still not great. I'll be honest. I don't think this is a good game for AMD fluid motion frames. It's like you either get better image quality with a lossless scaling and get a frame rate of 50 something. For me, I'd just rather just not use it, to be honest. So I think I'd just rather just lower a setting there rather than go through all this crap and worry about artifacts in motion and all that. I'm still pretty much against it, to be honest. I'm more against all this multi-frames and all that stuff than for it. Again, it can work well in certain games, but there's always going to be games where you think, what's the point? By the looks of it. What I will say is, in Rebirth, it seemed to look alright. The AMD fluid motion frames, Kingdom Come, apart from that, ghosting with them out, that seems to be a feature. I think that might be something on the AMD's fluid motion frames where the cursor on shooters will have some ghosting on it. But I was getting above 60 with it on. So we put it on again, and these one. So I've got it on high quality mode, so that shouldn't destroy the image. So I'm getting 130 FPS, over 60, which is better than lossless. Oh, this is a scene I've done before, isn't it? Feels alright aiming wise. It does feel smoother without it though, I'll be honest. I do feel I'm getting a bit of a input lag latency. So turn it off. So I think it's gonna be, this is a very, I think this is a decade out, this game or something, so over that. So I think it's probably not a good game for it, to be honest. It's probably one of the worst case games with how it's performing here. It's definitely a lot better without it on. I mean, Lossless scaling did actually feel right when I used it on the 4090. So let's put the lossless back on. So I'd say you won't get that mass ghosting with Lossless. I just don't know why it puts your FPS below 50. I'm clearly getting about 70, over 70 FPS. So why does it put my frame rate below that? No, it's only giving me 100. I don't understand that. See, there's negatives about both of them, to be honest. So it probably will end up being subjective for people. Have that. Don't really like this. What's he doing? What the fuck? Does he think he's standing there like he's Jesus or something? I don't know. So, yeah, I think image. So, lossless scaling on this, image quality wins. Because there is too much ghosting on this one with AMD's fluid motion frames. But then I'd say with both of them on, it's not perfect on lossless. Yeah, this game is definitely. It probably depends on your frame rate, because on the 4090 it felt alright. Because I was getting a higher FPS. Yeah, I think it is smoother without both of them enabled, to be honest. Very weird. Very weird that. Just trying to get a feel for it, like, keep running about. Right, so I've put it on, because I've obviously lowered my settings. So now I'm getting 70 lossless scaling on there. Oh yeah. Just put it down to 65. I just don't see the point if it's going to do that. I really don't see the point with using it if it's knocking your frame rate down by that much. And you put AMDs on. That looks like I've got to come out. So that don't always work with a hotkey. Oh, well, that feels better now. I did put the anti-lag back on. So the higher frame rate is helping with the AMD fluid motion frames. That is a bit of a mixed bag though, because the image quality is worse. So. Oh well, it was mainly about the performances between the XTX, so we go back to that. Because we're going to turn all that stuff off that is really... I'm still not convinced about all this frame generation stuff, to be honest. I'll have to test out more, but again, in certain games it can work well, depending if you're running hard settings like Cyberpunk, it's good to boost it. Shadows, it works well. Rebirth, it seems to work really well with AMD fluid motion frames. Again, it is a tell of the game where it works. If it don't work well, don't use it. Alright, so this is native. Turn that. So I've turned that off now. I've turned the AMD fluid motion frames off. I mean, even at native, it feels so much smoother at this frame rate without all that frame generation crap on, which is quite. I mean, does make you laugh, doesn't it? I think this is why I've always avoided frame generation in shooters, because it is a load of bollocks to me. It really is. I mean, some games it can work alright. I mean, apparently Doom it works pretty well, but then I still wouldn't. I'll avoid frame generation at all costs when I'm playing shooters, especially people that play on mouse. I mean, that is so much better now, and this is, I'm not even getting a solid 60, so I could easily play this at native because it is real frames and you get no bloody input lag. So that's what I take away from it. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm still, before I started testing all this frame generation, frame generation stuff, I'm still pretty much of the same opinion as I was, that it is pretty much pointless for me. I'm only using it in Cyberpunk Alan Wake, a very slow paced game where it seems to work alright. It's like they've optimised it so it actually feels good on those games, but other games you find this bloody shit. Like this one, it does feel bloody bad, to be honest, when I'm having both of them on. So that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, I mean, in comparison to the XTX, I mean, it's probably around the same performance, which is quite impressive. Again, it wasn't exactly the same level, but yeah, I mean, that is pretty good. This is at 4K. Well, yeah, I think that'd be enough. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.